All right, I just want to kind of come on here and bullshit, honestly. I don't have anything I really want to talk about, but I've just been kind of having one of those days, man. Lately, I've been pushing myself really hard to be a lot more social on Instagram and just being active, posting things, interacting, just being a lot less of an introvert when it comes to social media, which is, it's weird. In person, I'm more of an extrovert.
My man, this has to be what I think it is.
But when it comes to the internet, I'm more introverted. I don't really understand the psychology behind that. If somebody knows, let me know. But I've been pushing myself, so I made that Dehancer mobile review. I just posted that, so go check that out. I put a fair bit of effort into it. I think it looked pretty good, all things considered. So make sure you check that out. And then I'm working on this kind of little personal piece. It's a little bit more like a diary, video diary, journal entry kind of thing. Just I have a schedule and a plan for all my content throughout the year. Honestly, my first week, I'll just break it down how I kind of have it. My first weeks are kind of like tutorials, and then my second weeks are like reviews. Third weeks are how to's. Say like the fourth week are more personal pieces that I kind of be a little bit more, say, emotional, sappy, relatable, things like that on those kinds of pieces. So I want to put one of those out, but I figured the best starting point is to kind of like introduce really like who I am besides the camera. I do a lot of videos on like YouTube and shit where I'm just kind of talking about like my backstory and like my history when it comes to the camera, but I don't ever talk about like I've had more concussions than fingers on my hand, or the ADHD that I struggle with and things like that. Like people don't know that about me, so I want to make a little bit of a piece kind of diving into those things, and then it make it a little bit easier for me to talk about those things when I'm making videos like this. I've lived a lot of lives. I've had a lot of people tell me like, "Wow, I wouldn't expect that from you," or there's more than meets the eye when it comes to me. Like, I just get a lot of those comments. So, when it comes to this video, I want to try and do a real heavy, I guess, juxtaposition or dichotomy. Just explore it throughout the video where it's just like, I'm this, but I'm also this, and trying to do it in a way where I'm not like just flat out stating the character traits, if that makes sense. I want it to be more interesting. Like instead of saying I'm calm, but then I'm also hot headed, I'll say like I love trimming my bonsai, but I love racing on back roads. Like you kind of get the point. So I've been working on that. Long story short, scripting is difficult for me. I've had a lot of concussions, and with my ADHD, doesn't make it any easier for me to formulate sentences, let alone to segue points in my head and make it make sense. It seems like anytime I write a script, it's just all of a sudden I'm talking about one thing, and then I'm talking about another thing, and then I'm talking about another thing, and then I'm talking about that first thing all of a sudden again for some reason. I don't know why. So scripts are just all over the place for me. And maybe if you guys understand where I'm coming from when it comes to why my scripts are all over the place, it might make a little bit more sense. Like I bet a lot of you don't know I'm colorblind as fuck. And I operate with a camera. My job is to color stuff, and I'm colorblind. Like, how does that make sense? Just doing a little bit of a personal piece, and for the most part, I wanted most of my content at the beginning of the year to be centered within these four walls of my apartment, and then kind of like scale up from there. So that way, I didn't really have an excuse not to film it or shoot it. But it's I want this piece to be really good. I want this piece to look produced. I want this piece to feel intentional. I don't want it to just feel like sloppy, put together in like a matter of 20 minutes and $20. I'm thinking about renting out a therapist's office. I'm gonna bring on a couple of my homies for crew, help out with lighting and audio and things like that. Maybe rent some lighting. I don't know, maybe put a few bucks into this, just make it look a little bit more intentional, because I just I just don't feel like my work itself just doesn't look very mature. Like my abilities to tell stories and my abilities to create visuals that push that story properly are really good, but I don't feel like I'm not given I'm not giving myself the opportunity to really maximize my abilities, if that makes sense. Like, get me in a white psych and I'm going crazy, or get me in some kind of studio with overhead lighting and I'm going crazy. But instead, I'm running around on the streets of Baltimore, which is fine. It's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. I love the process. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely does replicate, or not replicate. It definitely does resonate in my work. It's pretty obvious. I didn't pay for location. There's no kind of external lighting or blocking or anything like that. All of that is very obviously not done in my work. At least to me, at least when I watch it. Other people might not notice or care about it, but I do. So long story short, I'm working on that. I've got all these videos for the whole year planned, but realistically, I get in these moods where I have all this motivation and all this inspiration to get up and shoot, or to get up and edit, or to get up and script something. And then I'll go to the computer to go do it. And then all of a sudden my mind goes fucking blank. And I don't know what I want to even do anymore. And then I'll be like, okay, well, now I'm bored. I don't know what I want to do. I'm not doing anything. I'll load up TikTok or load up Instagram and watch a video or something. And then I'm stuck brain rotting for an hour. So I deleted TikTok and I put screen limits on my Instagram. And now I can't do either of those. So now I'm sitting here talking to my video camera. So, I mean, I guess it's doing its job. It's doing its job because I want to start making more of these types of videos. Just sitting here kind of chatting to you guys, talking about bullshit. Let you guys make fun of the fact that I need a haircut without having to, put some kind of rude comment on my main Instagram post. You can talk shit about me down in these comments, and I'll talk shit back with you. So I'm gonna start making more of these. I'm just gonna keep trying to do them. Just sit down, casually talk about little progress updates of things that I'm working on. I've talked about in my last video, I think, but I've got this client I'm working on for a music video. Been kind of going back and forth and playing communication tag. So that's what it is. We'll see how that ends up going, but I'm excited. This year doesn't really have anything set up for it just yet, but I'm going to try and, make ends meet. I've been looking for more inspirations for some more of those remakes, but trying to stay off of social media has made that portion a little bit more difficult for me. But luckily, I have a pretty good stockpile of things that I've saved for inspiration in the past. So just going to keep going through that, make some more of these remakes of edits and things that I've found online. Keep following my content plan structure that I have for like personal reviews, to-dos, things like that. And hopefully something will take off. Hopefully something will take off and people will start resonating with my back catalog of it. But until then, we're just going to keep it trucking, keep doing what we love to do. And that is sitting here talking to you guys, making random videos whenever I feel like it. Because that's part of the process. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Just feel it, bro. Just fucking feel it, bro. All right, but have a good one, guys.